This is Startup Biz Coach Radio, formerly known as Mornings with Terry, and we're empowering entrepreneurs right from the start. Find us at thestartupbizcoach.com every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern with your host, Terry Clay. Are you ready to get this business started?
Hey, this is Terry Clay, and I am back with another episode of the Startup Biz Coach Radio.
Hey, this is Terry Clay, and I am back with another episode of the Startup Biz Coach Radio. Yeah. So we are back on the call yet another day. We do this call every single day, Monday through Friday, live from the StartupBizCoach.com, and we are just excited to be back on this call yet another day. What I love about the call is it just makes you more knowledgeable to listen into the entrepreneurs' words of wisdom, the stories they tell, the lessons I've learned. I mean, it's just crazy. I kind of came up with this idea because a millionaire blogger told me to do a podcast, and actually one day a week is what he kind of suggested. Do one day a week. And just get on and start talking about your business. And, I kind of thought, okay, let's do it 5 days a week. So I moved up to 5 days a week. Actually, my show originally was called the Mornings with Terry, if you've been with me that long. But anyway, I moved to 5 days a week where I was speaking every single day, 5 days a week. Then I changed to interviewing entrepreneurs because I became the Startup Biz Coach. One of my company became the Startup Biz Coach, and I thought, why not help entrepreneurs to grow their business by having more and more people on? So I kind of had the guests on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I spoke Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Then finally I decided to have guests 4 days a week and me do the show on Friday, and that's how our setup is now. And it's crazy that not only has this helped, sometimes when you do stuff for others, my vision is to help entrepreneurs right from the very start and, listen to entrepreneurs from all type of different, I can't even, it's just different types of entrepreneurs. I've had people who are into networking. I've had people that, like I said, my show that aired today had Dr. Dennis Kimbrough on it, who spoke about, he interviewed millionaires all over the world, African-American millionaires. I've had Sharon Lecter, who's with the Napoleon Hill Foundation, Greg Reed with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. I could just go on and on with all the interviews. But not only has it helped the listeners, which I hear from their testimonials, but it's helped me to learn and grow my business because success leaves clues, and this show is actually part of it leaving clues for you. So if you get to this show every single day, Monday through Friday, you're going to hear something that's going to help to grow your business, okay? And so, like I said, the show was not started for that. It was just a little idea, and it kind of grew from here. So we always are growing daily, and if you want to check out the shows that you've missed, head over to the StartupBizCoach.com, and you get to see a lot of the shows. They go on the blog every day, so they not only do they go with the recording, the blog is there with it. So you can check out all the shows that you've missed right there. So as we do every Monday through Thursday, we do have another guest on the show. And as we do at the Startup Biz Coach, we allow our guests to introduce themselves. So please tell us who you are and what do you do.
My name is Jackie Monroe, and I go by J Monroe for short. Most people know me by J Monroe in the business world. I am a business consultant, career coach, and empowerment speaker, as well as a new author. So I'm kind of multifaceted and multidimensional, but everything that I do is to empower, encourage, and enlighten others. So I think it's wonderful to be here on this show because that sounds like exactly what you do.
Yes, I do. I empower entrepreneurs right from the start, and I get you all to help be the assistance, because really, honestly, I couldn't do it by myself. I don't have the knowledge base to cover every basis of entrepreneurship. I wouldn't even want to cover it. I want to be a forever learner, and so that's why you bring in a group of people that have another tip to bring, and that's going to give the whole puzzle, make the whole puzzle pieces of the puzzle fit. So we hear that you have a new book out, and tell us a little bit about your book and what got you to write the book.
Well, my book is called Broken But Not Destroyed, Restoration is Possible. It's a very personal, nonfiction book, and the book is based upon the events of my life, the things that I have endured and overcome and conquered that have helped to develop me into the person that I am today. I'm pretty much a crusader for people who have faced life-changing situations in their lives, things that could have completely destroyed them, but through their resistance and through their will to keep going and to keep fighting, they're still here, which is why my book is called Broken But Not Destroyed, because what's broken can be fixed, but what's destroyed is lost forever. So the fact that I'm still here to be able to tell my story is a testament to that very statement in and of itself. So I share a lot of very personal experiences. I'm very candid about the things that have happened to me, such as surviving being kidnapped at gunpoint by a stalker, surviving domestic violence, surviving sexual abuse as a child, and understanding and recognizing how those things have affected me in my adulthood, and how to overcome those things and turn those things into situations of empowerment instead of allowing them to continue to victimize me for the rest of my life.
Wow. So let me ask you something. I mean, I too, I'm actually a survivor of domestic violence myself, and so I can kind of relate. And I don't think my situation was that. He almost killed me, so I guess it could have been that bad. But tell us how you made it through that. What helped you to heal? I guess in the process of healing from your situations.
Well, I would tell you what I had to do is I had to give myself permission to heal.
Mhm.
I had to give myself permission. A lot of times we tend to hold on to the pain. For some reason, it becomes a place of comfort for us. We don't even know how to function without feeling pain, especially if we've been enduring it for quite some time. So we tend to hold on to the things that hurt us. Even though they're hurting us, it still has become the norm for us. So I had to give myself permission to heal. I had to say, I want to be healed from this. I want to be delivered from this, and I need to be able to do what I need to do in order to do that. But in order for me to allow that healing to take place, I had to first acknowledge what had happened to me, because a lot of times people are in denial about what has really went on in their lives. And once I acknowledged it, I had to accept it. It is what it is, and I cannot do anything to change it. No. And once I acknowledged it and I accepted it, I was able to give myself that permission to allow myself to start the healing process.
Wow. Let me to start the healing process, is that what led you to your business? Is that part of your business, or is it just two separate things?
It's somewhat two separate things, but what I would say is that healing process also allowed me to do a whole lot of introspective, very deep introspective thinking about what it is that I need to be doing with my life, and how I've allowed those things to kind of weigh me down and kind of keep me from moving forward in all those things that have been purposed upon my life, which is, starting a business of my own, and starting a business that will allow me to assist and empower other people. And I felt like, once I was able to get through that, I could see all the things. I could really realize what all my talents and my gifts and my passion was. My passion is for helping people. And so my business is a business that allows me to help people, not just the speaking aspect of my business, but the consulting part of my business. A lot of the people that I do assist who are embarking on or aspiring to be entrepreneurs are people who have been in those places I've been. They've been people who have been broken and who have hurt as well. And, starting a business of their own is one of those things that's helping them to show favor to themselves and to put themselves in a better position in life. So a part of my consulting is when I'm coaching them and dealing with them, I always start with the personal aspect of it, because you got to get the personal self together before you can get your professional self together. They go hand in hand. So it definitely ties into the professional part of my business as far as helping people to move forward in their entrepreneurial endeavors, and even those who want to excel and grow in their current businesses working for other people.
Wow. And, that's a wonderful thing that I'm glad you mentioned that, how you kind of turn the personal aspect of it, or the negative aspect of your life, things that happen in your life, into, virtually a positive, or to help with your business. I had a few other guests on the show. One was called Petra Hoffman, and she actually was called the homeless realtor, and she was homeless, actually being a realtor and a homeless at the same time. So she's selling houses, but she doesn't even have a house, and she still turned those things into the positive. And I remember another one, Precious Williams. She was the one, her mother at 12 years old kicked her out of the house and told her she didn't love her, and she was living with her crack addict father till love came to her at the age of 15. But the point is, and I'm saying, is people may have some negative problems. As I told you, I was homeless. I lived in a domestic violence center. I lived in homeless shelters. I mean, my story is, a lot of the listeners have heard it before, but you turn those things into the positive, and that's, you never know. The Bible does say it all works together for good according to His purpose. So it's in a way, I believe it's part of it turning for the good. So, absolutely. Yeah. So let me ask you something. We always talk about startup businesses here. What is the first thing an aspiring entrepreneur should do once they decide, I'm going to start a business? What are they going to do first?
Well, I believe that people should launch their businesses using their senses. And I'm using that per se as far as the 5 senses that we have, and particularly 3 of those senses. And one of those senses is sight, and the other one is hearing, and then the other one is feel. And when I say one of the first things they should do is use their sense of sight, I think they need to do an environmental scan. And what I mean by an environmental scan is they need to monitor what is going on in the external environment that would have some kind of impact on the business that they have already started or they're aspiring to start. I think that they need to take a good look at the big picture, the whole landscape, politically, economically, and socially, how what's going on in each one of those arenas could have an effect on their business, for the good or the bad. I think that one of the biggest mistakes that new entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs make is they jump in whole body first, and they don't really get a good picture of what's really going on. They're not really taking time to do that SWOT analysis, where they're identifying the strengths, the weaknesses, and the opportunities and threats of starting their business. And it's not that it may not be a good business idea. It could be that it might not be a good time or a climate to start that particular business. And that's what the environmental scan will allow them to do, be able to identify, do I have more strengths or weaknesses that I can work with to start this business or to continue to build this business? Are there more opportunities, or are there more threats that can cause me some problems and keep me from being able to launch my business effectively and reach the masses like I would like to? So I think that's one of the first things they need to do, use their sense of sight, to be able to see and take a good look at what is going on around them. And then I think they need to do a gut check too. They need to do,
what?
how does it feel? The gut check. I call it the gut check. That's the feel part of it. The feel part of the sense is, how do you really feel about your business? Is there any underlying doubt? Now, I don't mean to confuse fear with a feeling of this is what you should not do it, because fear, I think, is a natural thing. A little nerves and fear when you're starting something new is kind of natural to me. But sometimes you have that feeling, and maybe this is just not the right time for me to do this, or maybe I need to wait until I get my finances a little better, or maybe I need to develop my marketing plan just a little bit more before I start. Listen to how you're feeling and pay attention to it. I really think that that's important.
That's good. I love it. We always ask actually everybody on this show, how can you empower an entrepreneur from the start? So that's a great way of helping entrepreneurs to do those gut checks in the very beginning. So that's good. Good stuff. So do you have idea or a vision?
Well, when I started my business, I had a vision. And I ask that same question to people who come to me and they say, I really want to start a business, but I really, need to talk to somebody first. And one of the things I ask them, so do you have an idea or a vision? They are completely different. An idea is very basic and concrete. There's not a whole lot of thought in an idea. But a vision is so much more. A vision is holistic. You know everything about exactly what you want to do, who you want to do it for, why you want to do it, and how you want to be able to connect with them. That's the difference between an idea and a vision. I think that people who come to me with an idea, I send them back for some homework. They get homework. You got some homework to do, because I need you to develop this idea into a vision. And you need to be able to articulate the vision well enough to where when you are explaining your vision to me, I can actually see exactly what you see.
So is their vision going to help them be, is that part of having passion? Because I know sometimes they say that, you should have a passion, or is that something totally separate?
I believe, personally, my professional opinion is you can be passionate about something, but you still don't have a clearly defined vision for your passion.
Oh, okay.
So I think that, you definitely the passion is going to be awesome, because the passion is what's going to drive that vision. But you most definitely need to have a clearly defined vision for your passion.
Right. So we always talk about failures and successes of entrepreneurs. Now, have you had failures? And when you did have failures, how did you turn them actually into successes?
Well, absolutely, I have had failures, and I think that
anybody should say no.
Yes, and one of the things that people need to know when they're going into entrepreneurship is you need to expect some failures. You just need to expect those. You need to understand, but it's the mindset. It's all about the mindset. As soon as those situations come up, because they only become a failure really and truly by definition if you don't learn from them. So that's the way you turn a failure into an opportunity. So you can remove that definition of failure and turn it into a definition of opportunity simply by examining the whole situation and learning from it and figuring out how you can deal with that situation and turn that situation around for you. And so realistically, it may start off as a failure, but you can quickly turn it into an opportunity when you keep the time to learn from it.
That's right. And one other thing I want to add is I think when you're going through those types of failures, you have to kind of keep, you mentioned something about mindset, and a way to kind of keep your mindset in check is, one, surrounding yourself by others who are actually doing what you want to do or doing what you're doing. Another way is kind of keeping yourself listening to books or listening to audio books or listening to audios that's going to keep your mindset focus that, yeah, this might be a failure, but I can turn this into that opportunity or success. And another thing is because if you say you don't surround yourself with those people, or you're just around your friends and families, as they say sometimes on these things. You know, when the negative happens or the failure happens, they may say, "See, I told you wasn't supposed to do that business, or you wasn't supposed to do that." And if you haven't got your mindset in check, if you haven't got your mindset together, then guess what? You're going to have you may get weak, and that's going to not, instead of turning that failure into the opportunity, you may say, "Well, maybe they're right." What do you think?
I totally agree with you, and that's exactly why you need to surround yourself with people who support you instead of those people who are waiting for those failures so they can say, "I told you so."
That's right.
Those are absolutely not the people that you need to be having in your circle. You need people that are going to cheer you on in spite of what that situation is that happened that didn't go quite the way you planned it. And everything begins with the renewing of the mind. And so you have to change your mind. And when I say change your mind, change the way you think about things. That's going to be the first thing. So you do have to develop a strong mentality. You have to be mentally strong to be able to deal with business, especially when you're in business for yourself, because it's not easy. And so you have to be that person that's going to jump right back up as soon as you get knocked back down, dust the dirt off and keep it moving, because you do have people that are laying in wait. They're waiting for that thing to say, "I told you so" about. So you definitely you got to be ready for it, and you definitely have to be mentally strong to understand that this is a part of the territory. I'm learning. You're going to make mistakes, and like you said, feed the mind. Our minds need to be nourished. You know, most successful people read at least 30 minutes a day. I'm constantly online reading something, like you said, listening to audio, listening to other interviews, for example, like the people that you interview on your shows. Exactly. I'm very strategic about how I spend my time. When you're serious about being successful as an entrepreneur or anything, you will make sure that you're constantly absorbing everything that you can that is going to help you be successful in that particular area of your life.
That's right.
Or your
That's
business.
right. That's right. You know, speaking about audios or books, what kind of books are you reading currently, or have you been reading, and how they are affecting your life?
What I really have been doing lately is I have been researching people who are where I want to be now.
That's good. That's stuff. Now what do you research? What do you research?
I researched their history. You know, where did they start from? This is some people, they started in the garage. They started in their mom's basement. They had a office in their basement. They had a table set up in their closet. They just emptied out their closet and put their clothes in a basket, and they put a desk in the closet.
Come on now.
That's where their office started at the kitchen table somewhere. So those are the people that I like to read about. I like to read about their humble beginnings and where they started, because that's inspiration, because that's where most of these entrepreneurs are right now, just to give you that inspiration and know this. If these people, this is where they started, and look where they are now. So I like to research people. I read a lot of magazines like Fortune Magazine, Success Magazine, Black Enterprise Magazine. I'm connected with all of those entities on social media and things like that as well, because I like to get those little nuggets throughout the day, a little something that be like, oh, yeah, that little thing. So daily, you know, I'm getting a little dose of something from somewhere, from several different sources. So that's what I have been doing lately, researching people like Warren Buffett and people like that. You know, how did you get to the philanthropic people, and even people who may not be somebody that's well known but still successful. There's a lot of very successful people who are not household names.
That's right. That's right. And, you know, I'm glad that you said about researching, because one thing that I know, that success leaves clues. And if what you've just said that in the answer to the question is that you are researching what the people who are doing what you want to do, how they are, what clues they have left. And what I believe that people don't realize is just because you're not making the $1 million yet or whatever, it doesn't mean that you're not going to, because if you look at the other people who started the business, who just got started, they didn't all have it together. As I was telling you about the David Kimbrough interview, he spoke about Damon John, who actually burned his furniture. And Damon John started, I can't remember what company, but he got a contract. And, he got this contract, and he was going to have the furniture. The furniture was in the way in his mother's house, and he had all these people that was going to help him sew his FUBU and whatever, and he took his mother's furniture outside and burned it up so that he could put the sewing machines and stuff in the house. And, the average person would say, oh, my gosh, I wouldn't do that, because they're too afraid to be uncomfortable. They're too afraid that, I don't want to, I got to have my living room suit, and I got to look so good, and it got to be nice. And look, Damon John's living room suit is very nice now, I guarantee you that.
I guarantee you.
And his mother probably has another one. Huh?
I mean, just as beautiful. And he was on Shark Tank, and that's another show I like to watch, Shark Tank. I love trying to get information from people who – I used to be an avid watcher of The Apprentice. Mm-hmm. I need to know what Donald Trump's business advice is. What does he think are good business strategies, and what he thinks sucks as far as business strategy. That's the kind of thing that I do. I watch The Apprentice, and I will watch Shark Tank and things like that, because I'm trying to – these people are giving me free information. I'm not even having to pay for this. I pay for my cable or whatever the TV show, but most of these those come on, I think, basic cable. You don't even need cable for The Apprentice. So I would watch shows like that, getting information from multimillionaires and business moguls, for free. Yeah.
That's it. So we have one and last and final question, and we kind of have touched on this question already, but we're going to see if you can add a little to that. But before we do, we're going to have a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Have you ever wanted to be a published author? Or how about, would you like to travel the world to get paid to speak and tell others of your story and how others could get over? Would you like to be an Amazon best-selling author? Or maybe you would like to create your own courses and products and get paid for what you know. If that sounds like you, join Terry Clay and Sue Ham at the Business Explosion Mastermind in Florida. It's a private luxury retreat. There, you will have private access to the beach. You will stay in a mansion near the beach. You will be just 2 minutes from Mexico. While there, you will learn all about how to explode your business. If this sounds like you, go to businessexplosion.net. We cannot wait to see you there.
All right, so thanks so much for our sponsors. We appreciate you. And, we just want to say that we appreciate our sponsors. We cannot do it without you. And so we asked this question. Actually, we kind of hit on it, the first question about how can you empower an entrepreneur right from the start. And you kind of hit on that. But can you do it a little extension of how you can empower or help an entrepreneur right from the very start?
One of the things that I do is I hold them accountable. The way that accountability is very important for me. And that's why when I do my initial consultations and even my first meetings with the entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs I work with, I'm very candid with them. Accountability. I really need for you to be accountable for what you do, what you don't do, and then get it together. Accountability, helping them to identify their strengths and their weaknesses is going to be very, very important as far as empowering them right from the beginning, because I think that they need to know. There are some things that you are not going to be able to do, and some of them feel like that they need to do everything themselves. And there are some things you're just not going to be able to do. So with that gut check, there's something that I asked them about, and it's called self-efficacy. And some people get it confused with self-esteem. But self-efficacy is your belief in your ability to complete a task. And that's totally different from self-esteem, because self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. Self-efficacy is how you feel about your ability to complete a task. How do you feel about being able to be successful as an entrepreneur? And I asked them to be very honest with me about it. And even if they feel like they're a little shaky about it, that doesn't mean that they're not going to be successful at it. It's just them being honest about where they are right now. So helping them to identify their strengths and their weaknesses as an entrepreneur is one of the most important things, I think, to helping an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur from the very start.
Awesome. So thanks so much for stopping by the show. Will you give them your contact information, even maybe a way they can get your book? I know it's not coming out till, I believe, March is what you said, but how they can get in contact with you. And, you know, people listen to this show for months and months and months down the line, so, you know, they may not even listen to the interview until March, so that'll be perfect.
That'll be awesome. It'll still be very relevant. One thing about this kind of information, it's always relevant. So whenever they listen to it, it'll be relevant. So, again, my name is Jay Monroe, and you can reach me at my website, www.jmonroeconsulting, and it's JMonroeConsulting.com. I'm also on Twitter. My handle is at JMonroeWisdom. You can also find me on Facebook as well, J. Monroe Consulting, Coaching, and Speaking. My book is entitled Broken But Not Destroyed, Restoration is Possible, and it is going to be released on March 12th. I will also have some other books available coming to you very soon. I'm going to have an aspiration motivational calendar that's going to be coming out, and a business branding book as well. So if you follow me on any of those social media sites or my website, you will find out more information about those as they become available as well. And I'd like to thank you in advance for your support, and thank you, Miss Terry, for having me on the show.
Yes, I have enjoyed the conversation. We try to make these just like a conversation, and I believe we have been successful again today. So thanks again for stopping by the Startup Biz Coach Radio, and we appreciate you.
All right, you have a fabulous day.
All right, and this has been a word from Terry Clay, and we are changing lives with positive words, and we are out. Peace.
This has been Startup Biz Coach Radio, formerly known as Mornings with Terry, and we're empowering entrepreneurs right from the start. Find us at thestartupbizcoach.com every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern with your host, Terry Clay. Thanks for listening.